So welcome everyone. This is a satellite worship of HealthIL. I guess some of you were yesterday at the main event. Those of you who weren't, it was a great event. And today we are here to discuss marketing strategies for 2024. My name is Olga Rosenman. I'm a global marketing expert. I specialize in the MedTech industry, work with a variety of MedTech companies, health tech, MedTech, biotech, however you define yourself. Some of them are early stage companies, some of them are already commercial, and some are large corporations that work on a global scale. And out of my work, I really meet a lot of companies. I see how other companies position themselves, how they address different go-to-market topics. And I realized that there is a lot of need in our industry to step up in our go-to-market approach. And I'm doing a lot of educational work in this domain to promote the understanding and the importance of marketing at MedTech, health tech, biotech. I don't work alone at MedTech Marketing at Scale. I have a team of talented professionals who work with me, designers, video producers, digital experts, and together we work with companies with the aim to provide a full stack marketing solution. We work on a number of domains, and I will share with you some insights from our work today. Both my services as CMO, Marcom production, trade shows, digital videos. In each domain, we have acumen and we have learnings, and I will share with you some examples. As I said, I'm a great believer in the power of marketing, and I work relentlessly to promote this understanding among our community. I'm the founder of a MedTech marketing community where we already have 1,500 members. We organize events. Some of them are online events, webinars, meetups, different brainstorming forums, and everyone interested is most welcome to join. Here are the companies who shared their learnings so far, and I look forward to having more case studies to share. Every recording of our past events can be found on the MedTech Marketing YouTube channel. This recording will be there as well, although in a private mode, but anyone who will miss it will be able to access it. So now to the main topic of our discussion. We have already started 2024. And in order to understand, what is ahead of us, how we should shape our marketing strategy, it is important to understand, first of all, what trends should we expect in the market, and how do they actually impact our marketing activity, whether we are looking to raise investment or to grow our commercial activity. So the first and I think most important trend is the money. Like how likely are MedTech companies expected to get the funding, and what are the powers in the market, among our key customers. And I took here the US reimbursement model, because a lot of companies are targeting the US market. So what we see here, and I also hear it in a lot of investment forums, that there are two trends. On one hand, we see that investments are low, in a decline compared to past years. On the other hand, there is some optimism because we see that the stock market is expected to rise. The stock market in the US is expected to rise, and it might have a positive impact on our industry. If we look on the purchasing power of doctors, hospitals, we see a negative trend. We see that reimbursement rates are going down, and it means that the purchasing power, the budgets that the hospitals have will go lower. It means that there will be more pressure on price, and like only the best will deliver. So what do we take out of it for marketing? The idea is that companies need to do more with less. And the idea is to go and find these growth hacks strategies, effective organic ways to grow the business, to stand out of the crowd from competition, and yet be economically efficient. So growth and efficiency are the main trends that are expected from companies. It sounds like an oxymoron, but we'll see ways how to achieve it in this presentation. So another trend, it can be kind of an evergreen trend. Every startup company, a company that has a functioning product, knows that you need to innovate. You need to create constant innovation, whether you are looking to raise investment or you are working with distributors. Everyone is expecting your company to demonstrate innovation. On the other hand, the company resources are limited, and it's not easy to demonstrate innovation with limited R&D resources and with limited budgets. And that is where I want to share with you the concepts of commercial innovation as a growth catalyst, performing different commercial and marketing innovative changes that can create innovation with a far limited investment. So we'll see examples of that very soon. Another trend that is very, very prominent, and it comes out in many forums, is that it's not enough anymore to talk only about the technology. The ecosystem, maybe because of all the budget constraints and all the changes, is looking for added value, for value that you provide, not just through technology, but maybe you address the pain points, you save time for doctors, you shorten up processes, you create economical efficiency for hospitals. So you provide something else apart from the great technology that you have. And we need to keep in mind that when we are talking about the ecosystem, there are multiple stakeholders. And in our marketing efforts, we need to think, usually there are multiple influencers through the process. And we need to think how we address these, all of these relevant stakeholders through the process and not neglect one of the personas. And another point, I think many of you know that the patients are becoming more prominent. They search for information online. Actually, 86% of the patients search for information online. And many commercial products, although you sell B2B, you also need to keep in mind how to address the B2C aspect in order to allow your customers to provide added value for your customers. And last trend that I want to address is a technological trend, not related to the MedTech industry, but a trend that we see across the board. Actually, there are two trends. One the technological advancements and the latest ChatGPT are really taking the industry by storm. Everything is changing, and we see that the pace of the change is very quick. And another change is by the way that we purchase things. Those who are familiar with marketing and sales models maybe remember these linear models where you were first of all considering, and then you were first of all you were aware to a need, then you were considering different options, and in the end you were kind of making the purchasing decision. So this is not the way it works anymore, because we are exposed to so many medias and to so many messages. The models are becoming more customer-centric. The person is in the center, and you can't expect, that they will consume your messages step by step. So you need to think about a more holistic messaging model, a more holistic sales model once you approach your target audience. And we'll see the implication of that in a moment on marketing methodologies. So what do we take out of that? Actually, I see 4 key success factors for success in your marketing strategy in 2024. First of all, innovation. And this is the first part that we'll discuss. If you're selling, your distributors, your salespeople, investors, customers, they all want the latest and the greatest, and we'll see how this can be achieved. Secondly, the right story. People are people, and the messages that we tell need to resonate with them. They need to be simple, quick to grasp, and convincing the target audience. The third aspect is strong fundamentals. You need to have strong marketing assets to success, whether it's a website, a presentation that you send to investors, a company video. You need to have these basics to be able to capitalize on the interest and convert the leads to sales opportunities. And last, but definitely not least, effective promotion. Ahead of this workshop, I got a question. So one of the questions was, how do we reach our target audience? So we'll talk about it. What are the promotion lead generation methods that are right for the MedTech industry? It's not the same methods that you will see in high tech, fintech, etc. So let's start, addressing it step by step. If you have any questions, by the way, you can write them in the chat, and I will try to address them after each chapter. So the first part is how to create innovation with limited resources, with the limited capacity to invest in R&D. I want to share with you 3 ideas for commercial and marketing innovation, and I will explain for each idea for which company it is suitable, and accompany it with examples from my own experience. So the first, I think, and the most obvious strategy is OEM. I believe that everyone here is familiar with OEM. OEM basically means taking a product, leveraging on your existing pipeline of distributors or salespeople, and adding more product into this pipeline, taking another product not from your company, packaging it, branding it as if it's your product, and selling it as an organic supplement to your existing offering. This is a kind of the quickest way to add new products if you don't have the capacity or the willingness to develop something in-house. Where OEM can be effective, in which cases it doesn't suit every company. It can be good for companies with strong brand recognition. It means that your brand is strong enough to reflect on other products. And here I presented an example of one such company that I'm working with, Mobile ODT. Mobile ODT are in cervical cancer screening and treatment, a well-known company in this domain. Initially, they had one product, which was a colposcope, but they had a very strong brand recognition, a very good name. They had a large distributor network that they built in over 40 countries. And it made sense to feed these channels with new products. Otherwise, they will be just selling alternatives. But the thing is that when you choose product, you need to choose it smartly so that this product will complement and create a power multiplier. There is not you can't just bring any product and say, okay, I have an innovation. You need to choose it very, very carefully to create 1 + 1 that is more than 2. And here is an example from Mobile ODT. So Mobile ODT started with a colposcope. They released an upgraded model of this colposcope, and then they added treatment and rapid diagnostic capabilities, actually moving from one product solution to a full turnkey solution for cervical cancer screening and treatment. And this is how they started. You know, it was in the beginning, in 2020, when I started to work with them, they had some problems, a disrupted company with just one product. And through this innovation strategy, it took time. It's not something that was immediate, but through this innovation strategy, they actually pivoted the company. And instead of selling just one colposcope, they pivoted as a solution, as a single visit screening and treatment program, meaning that a woman can be screened and treated for cervical cancer within a single visit. Why? It was and this program was a game changer. It brought them large government projects, and it really scaled their business. Why? Because sometimes there is no point just to screen a woman and to tell her, okay, you potentially have a cancer and you don't have the ability to treat it. Once you have the ability to close the loop, then suddenly this product offering becomes attractive for governments. And this is how Mobile ODT, actually by OEM and by adding solutions that complement their core technology, they actually scaled their offering and got large-scale government budgets. Another way to create innovation is commercial innovation. It means that you already have a product that is working in certain sectors, and you find a way to repackage this product and offer it to other segments. And here is an example from EndyMed. EndyMed are a company in the medical aesthetics domain. And I will show, they had a system with a lot of different handles. And now the aesthetic space is super competitive space. And in this space, if you come with a message and you say like ROI focused aesthetic platforms that grows with your practice, and you present these 7 handles, it doesn't resonate with the doctor, it doesn't appeal for them. And there are maybe 50 companies that come with the same offering. That's why if you want to innovate, you need to kind of find a new segment, the blue ocean, where there is no such a fierce competition, and you can really stand out. And how did we find this segment? By doing research, we found that there is an eye treatment, eye rejuvenation segment, where there is not so much competition, and EndyMed solution can be packaged to address it. So what we did, we repackaged the existing solution. Instead of having these 7 handles, we created a clinical protocol with just 3 handles, and we created a market launch, presented that we have a new product for the eye segment, which was actually an existing technology which was repackaged to address this new segment. I will show you just to explain it further. Here is an example of a video. So in this video, you will see how we take existing technologies and we repackage them, and we explain how each technology, each out of the 3 technologies, what is its function in the new package, how it creates a multiplier and creates a new product in the category. And you can see that for each handle, there is a clinical protocol. So again, you repackage it and you say, okay, now we have a new offering for the eye segment, which wasn't present there before, that can address all the concerns of the patients in this area around the eye. And for doctors, it's much more intuitive to purchase 3 handles for a specific purpose, rather than to have an offering of 7 handles that is also very expensive, that they don't understand, you know, how they can be used. And here you can see that it's actually backed up by clinical study, validated. These things are very important in marketing. Okay, so it's not enough, you know, just to launch a product. You need to accompany it by a 360 degrees marketing material set to create a valid proposition. And here is the example how we addressed it in EndyMed: videos, social media campaign, website, trade shows. It needs all to be synced. And last, and the easiest type of innovation is a marketing innovation. If you are a legacy company, or even if you have if you are a startup company functioning for a while, and you don't have now an opportunity for commercial innovation, or you don't have now the opportunity or the capacity to OEM, marketing and innovation is a good option that can be adapted by many companies. What does it mean? Take an existing product and create something new, provide added value. It doesn't mean that you need to rebrand. It means that you need to find a new interesting angle to add, to provide added value for the technology. For example, Lumenis ENT is a 40 years brand, one of the leaders in the category, but as a gold standard, it has the advantages and the disadvantages. The disadvantages are that everyone knows that it's a gold standard, and people say, okay, it's kind of, what new can come out of it? We know it. And when you sell the product, you want to be top of mind, you want to be cutting edge. So what we did in Lumenis is to create innovation through new marketing tools. And we created 2 sets of marketing tools. One was a toolkit for doctors with all the resources on ENT that they could download by a click, by leaving the lead details for Luminis. And another tool was a set of educational social media activities and creating an ENT community on social media. And we launched both these projects, both externally and internally for the salespeople, as an innovation in sales and marketing tools. And we saw that it generated a great result. We saw 300 increase in social media followers, a lot of engagement around the symposiums, and 150 people, leads, who actually downloaded this kit. So here you can see 3 ways how to create innovation. Now I want to address, before I move to the next chapter, let me in this context, where does the OEM definition come into play? It means that you take a technology and you brand it as your company. So Mobile ODT took technology, third party, and they branded it as a core technology by Mobile ODT. What according to you need? Okay, so here is a question about growth and profits and purchasing power of low socioeconomic groups, and what should be the role of the government. So indeed, in these low resource communities, government take a leading role in the purchasing process, in leading the innovation of MedTech products. Companies like Mobile ODT that address these low resource settings, they work a lot with governments. I will show you an example in a moment. Community social media in each channel. I will talk about social media very shortly. I just started to talk about innovation as a concept. So now moving to the next topic, how to tell the right story. How we all know that actually messaging play a critical role in the fundraising, in the sales process. It's very important to position your company in the right category, tell what is unique about it, don't be too technical, and use a lot of images. Don't try to explain everything with words. So yesterday I met with a number of people during the event, and we discussed, because there are a lot of companies also here going through the fundraising process. And sometimes I see presentations during the Export Institute showcase days, and I see that there are quite a few companies that don't tell their brand to the full capacity. And it's something very important, because actually research shows that brands who know how to tell their story, who tell it effectively, have 64% more chances to raise investment. And that's why I created some focus on this section, knowing that there are quite a few companies who are looking to do it. So I want to explain how you can pivot the messaging with very simple steps. And it's not a creative competition. Your messaging need to be clear and to the point above all. So what are the typical problems that I see among companies? And here is one example that I encountered at Mobile ODT when I started to work with them. One of the typical problems is to use very technical language to explain what you are doing. To be trying to be very exact about the technology means that you take the focus of the bigger picture, and then it's hard to understand what the company is doing. For instance, they described their cervical cancer diagnostics technology that was powered by AI as AI-enabled visual diagnostic technology for women's health at the point of care. Now, this definition is correct, but it's very, very hard to understand which category are they in, what is their promise. That's why already a week after our activity, I made the immediate change, which is to have a very short and catchy sentence that describes what they do. Revolutionizing femtech with AI technology. So you understand that you are in the femtech domain, you create the AI revolution, and this is your promise. You're revolutionizing the domain, and you are in a cervical cancer innovator. After a time, as they added more companies to more products into the portfolio, there was also a need to evolve the marketing strategy, to rebrand, and we moved to high technology for women's health, addressing a broader scope. Another example that I want to share with you is Agamon Health. They're a company in software for radiology in patient workflow management. So initially, their tagline on the website was ready to meet your future care coordinator. Now, why this tagline wasn't optimal? For two reasons. First of all, while approaching and writing something about your company, you need to think about the value for the ecosystem. One of the people involved in the purchasing process is the nurse navigator. So you don't want to upset her or create this negative feeling and to say upfront, okay, I am your future care coordinator, soon you will lose your job. So this is the message that you don't want to put up front, thinking about the ecosystem. And secondly, when you are talking to both to investors and to medical professionals, you want to explain which category are you in. And when you say that you are just a care coordinator, it looks small. That's why we created a brainstorming process. And we redefined the way that we want to position the company. This is what we said. We are the new generation of patient workflow management. So you can understand the company is in the patient workflow management domain. Later on, we explained that this is powered by generative AI. We present the detailed function of the company, and we present numbers because doctors, medical professionals are looking for validation. They're looking for numbers. That's why presenting it provides gravitas, provides a lot of credibility for the product. And so on. I created here a couple of examples. Sometimes companies just put some kind of an image with all the indications that the technology can treat, like it was here with the EndyMed example. So instead of listing all your indications, you focus and you say, we are 3D, we are clinically validated. You highlight your core values, and instead of having this woman highlighting the technology. Another example as well, a company, a distributor of high-end medical products in Israel had a header of their LinkedIn channel, which is kind of the most important channel in B2B communications, and they had the picture of their office. So immediately switching to the technologies that they represent and refocusing the messages. Let me just check what was the question. Okay, the B2C market for a consumer product. So B2C and B2B in this domain are the same. Also, when you work with B2C, you need to be even more clear what you provide. So your offering can be very, needs to be very clear, because sometimes you want to be too creative or too technical, and then the customer loses the initiative to explore your product. So in the messaging domain, B2B and B2C are the same. We are talking to people, and we need to have messaging that is clear and resonates with them, whether it's B2B or whether it's B2C. So we have our innovation strategy, and we defined our messaging, and now we want to have strong marketing assets, because after all, it's good to know who we are, but we also need to convey it to our target audience. And those who work in marketing, you can produce 1 million of marketing assets. You can do a website, a roll-up, a brochure, a catalog. The sky's the limit. But if you really have limited resources, and you need to focus your efforts. And I want to show you 3 marketing mediums that will actually provide you 80% of the impact, and in my point of view are a must for any company, whether you are just beginning and starting to raise investment, or you are a commercial company. You need to have a good corporate presentation, because this is the thing that you send to investors. This is the first document that you will send to potential distributors. Anywhere you go, you need to have it as a strong asset. Secondly, a website. A website needs to be a good functioning, converting website that also tells clearly the story of the product. And videos. We are now living in a video-first culture, and especially in medical technology, where we have smart technological processes, products that are not easy to explain. There is an increased importance for videos, and I just met a startup company yesterday that they said, okay, we are trying to explain how our product works to investors. Sometimes it's very, very complex, and a good video can really do the work for you. So I just want to give you the fundamentals. Whether it's a website, a presentation, or a video, it needs to include 3 pillars. One is how you position your company. What is your market category? What are the key values that differentiate yourself? And make sure that you capture this from different perspectives. If you are both commercial and raising investment, you need to think both of investors and of distributors. How does it work? Many companies go too technical and really dive into details. This needs to be a high level to show that you understand the market and explain how you stand apart from competition. And especially important for medical technologies, credibility. Novel technologies, who trusts it, what data supported, what KOL supported. So I want to show you one example. It's through a corporate presentation, but any asset can be similar. So as I mentioned, sometimes I see many companies, they don't have a strong presentation, and they come to a meeting with investors, with distributors, and then they lack in the ability to position their company to full capacity. This is an example of a company I worked with. They are also in the aesthetic space, and this is the presentation that they used to have. So they had their product, and then they had a very impressive advisory board, but they wrote it as a list, so it looked less impressive. they had a lot of clinical studies, which was kind of rare for the company of their scope. And they pasted it study by study, they pasted it on different slides. The market was not even present there. And they were going to raise investment, to approach some strategic opportunities. And I worked with them, started with the deck. So look how we repositioned this company. First of all, you start and you present the company. What is the company? Who stands behind the company? If you have an impressive advisory board, put it in the front. Then we talk about the market. We present that this company addresses 2 markets, and we speak about the opportunity at each market. And only after we speak about the market opportunities, we understand that there is an attractive marketing opportunity here, we go and we explain about the product, and we explain why the product is the perfect fit for this marketing opportunity. And when we speak about the product benefits, you see we have 4 slides. And these slides can be extracted or added, because these slides address different segments, whether it's investors, doctors, salespeople, distributors. Each one have their own benefits, and you better have this kit of messages. And then we put all the publication in 1 slide, because this is how it looks impressive, instead of spreading them in 10 slides, because no one is going to read it. You show all the indications, you show the results, and you show the proof. The physicians that say that this is a good technology. I promise that I will also tell costs. So here are the approximate costs of the production. It's the corporate presentation. Just mute yourself. The corporate presentation is in the range of...
רגע, על מה את מדברת? על איזה...
Hold on, I will find how to mute everyone.
לא, לא לטלפון שלי, לא. או שלך או של אמא שלך.
רגע, מישהו, תשימו את עצמכם במיוט רק.
רגע, אז אמא שלך...
זה נראה שזה מישהו בשם חיים גלעד. אם את יכולה לצעוד, if you can find him, you can press on a link on mute for him, or for whoever is admin of this meeting. Can mute him specifically.
I'm trying.
חיים גלעד, תנתק את הטלפון.
מעולה.
Okay, let's move on. So here you can see the prices of different services. The costs, I think these are reasonable costs, very reasonable investment in positioning your company to have better chances for investment or for commercial success. And the last part, and you know, these are the questions that I got already in the beginning. How do we create effective promotion? So we have a good website, we have a good presentation to share, and now we want to generate leads, or we want maybe to have our company on the radar of investors. And by the way, investors can use the same marketing funnel as customers, because they are also people. So how do we get effective promotion? There are a lot of promotion channels. You can do content marketing, you can do cold calling, trade shows, PR, paid campaigns. There is really a variety. So let's start exploring some of them. We won't, you know, dive into each channel, but I have highlighted the channels that I think Some of them are good opportunity for MedTech, and some of them are not suitable for MedTech or health tech companies. So let's start with cold calling. I think cold calling is a most popular technique. I guess all of you have received every once in a while these emails saying, hi, how are you? And then are you interested in this service? And then you are starting to get follow-up emails. And here you can see the sequences, they go on and on. Sometimes you get it as an email, sometimes you get it as a LinkedIn message. And this is kind of in B2B marketing, this is kind of a favorite marketing technique. My belief, and it's a strong belief based on data, that this approach doesn't work with doctors, it doesn't work in a MedTech or health tech domain. Why it doesn't work? There are a number of reasons for that. First of all, medical professionals have a very, very tight schedule. They don't have the capacity. They're running between operating rooms, to see patients, to go into congresses. They don't have the capacity now to read these whole stories of emails or LinkedIn messages. Some of them are not even on LinkedIn. So you don't get their attention. And secondly, they are people of numbers, of data, of validation. So these kind of messages, pushy sales messages, usually don't resonate. That's why I recommend companies not to choose this approach. Don't try to sell, but better to offer value. And here I will show you a number of strategic approaches, how you can offer value to doctors and through this generate leads and sales. So this is an example from Agamon Health. We encountered this company earlier. You remember I told you they are in a software patient workflow management in radiology. And actually the challenge that they address, they offer follow-up management on radiology recommendations. This company has used cold calling for a while, and it actually generated almost zero results for them. Why? Because many of the doctors are not even aware of the need or the importance of follow-up on radiology recommendations. So before you can go and sell them the Agamon Health product, you need first of all to educate them on the need and on the importance of managing follow-ups and on the business opportunity that it creates for hospitals. That's why we changed our approach from cold calling to thought leadership, creating webinars with key opinion leaders, creating ebooks, creating blogs that actually talk about the importance of the follow-up management. And we use the same channels, by the way, LinkedIn, email marketing, website, same channels, but different messaging. Another thing that we leveraged is the power of social media communities. In this case, this is a very strong radiology community on LinkedIn where we using a company employee profile. And we posted there, and we shared the different recommendation content pieces, and that's why we created awareness through the community. And the result was that we generated through these methods over 200 leads as compared to 3 leads that were prior generated with cold calling. Another example, again, of thought leadership is to have an organized multi-channel digital program to grow sales. through content, through thought leadership. This is another example from mobile ODT. Again, you can see the same components, webinars, email, educational email campaigns, social media, a lot of posts on social media. In their case, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram are also relevant channels, not only LinkedIn. LinkedIn is less relevant for gynecology. Social media, PR, creating actually a digital presence and an orchestrated PR effort, speaking opportunities, actually creating a buzz around a company in a structured digital effort. So we saw the results of the buzz in the number of searches on Google, in the recognition that this company got in the government projects, but also in CRM, in Salesforce, you can track the sources. I'm able to see exactly which sources generate leads and sales. And you can see here that the website is actually the main generator of leads and sales. And then you can see the second biggest channel, which is the webinars, meaning that the educational content out of all campaigns, this is the strongest content. And these webinars, they don't sell the mobile ODT products. They talk about cervical cancer prevention. And by the way, the doctor also shows the products that he uses for that. And through that, we generated much more leads rather than we would say, send a pushy email and saying, okay, please buy a technology for a 20% reduction.
Olga, do you have additional social media that you recommend on, specifically medical social medias? LinkedIn is a good example, but also if you have more, I will appreciate
Yeah,
that.
definitely. So as I said, you need to explore in which domain you are. Maybe Twitter is very strong. Instagram, if you are in radiology, gynecology domains, you just need to do a hashtag research on Instagram to see if there are posts, if there are conversation going on your topic, and then you can actually use these channels. So this is there are many channels. LinkedIn, not many doctors are on LinkedIn. It's more business, distributors, investors. So you really need to explore. It's on a case-by-case basis, but there is not one fits all. Okay. And I just want to show you one example of social media. When done correctly, organic social media can really lead to fantastic results. This is the best company that I showed you earlier. One post that was not done properly reached 171 people, and a post that was written correctly, posted correctly, shared, reached over 3,000 people. So it's 3,000 more than the original one, and all of that can be achieved if you approach it professionally. So just to understand what is the scope, if you want to allocate budget for that, if you want to have a digital package, including social media design, content, like I showed you from mobile ODT, for example, that will cover the needs of your company. The price range can be between $3,000 and $6,000, including like design and everything. PR outreach, you pay just for a PR company to distribute it. These are the prices of the distribution. So I really generally recommend all the companies, that are going through the investment process, looking for distributors. You really need to be above the radar. I met a company yesterday who are approaching the investment process, they don't have a website or a LinkedIn page. It's a pity because all of these things reduce your chances to success, and whatever you can do, whatever is easy to fix, I suggest doing it. A couple of questions. Okay. So I already spoke about other social media channels. And last but not least, just a few minutes to address the trade shows, because I think there isn't a company here who is not going to a trade show. And the trade show, we invest a lot of budget into it, and you can have a fully packed booth, or you can sit there sometimes with your very nice design by your own. I wrote here a few common mistakes that companies do when they go for trade shows. Sometimes, and it all comes out of a lack of planning ahead of time. Sometimes companies purchase a stand, a booth place, but they don't understand that now they need also to design it and to promote it, and don't anticipate the whole budget. And then they are lacking in performance. Or you come to a very nice booth, but you don't have a video, or the people who are in the booth are not trained to talk about sales and marketing topics, are mainly R&D people. So you need to have a full consideration set when you approach a trade show. You need to have this checklist to make sure that you actually address all the conditions. And how do you prepare for trade shows? This is kind of the basics, and you just follow it. You need to have digital promotion ahead of the show, to start the show already with 10, 20, 40, 50, sometimes even 300 people who signed up for meetings in your booth. You need to have some activity, lead magnet, a reason to come to your booth, because there are a large variety of booths, and no one will just come if you say, please visit our stand. And you need to have an efficient follow-up after the trade show. After it finishes, you need to have a flow where you follow up with leads. And here is a very, very quick example of a company in a very niche neurology space. I worked with them to prepare for Medica. At first, this was their messaging: visit Remit at Medica. Why? And the imaging, and they're in neurology, in brain monitoring, and the image was from the world of radiology. So the first thing to do is to create the reason why. Why would you come to the booth? To see product innovation, to take part in the cocktail, to engage in the new release. And you see the images, they are eye-catching. Why they're eye-catching? Because they demonstrate innovation and they tease, and that's how people started to ask, what is the company doing? We leverage a lot of resources, including online resources that the show provides, like the Medica B2B platform. We did emailers, we did social media. And as a result, a company in a very niche space has a bustling booth. We had the visitors coming to our booth. I believe some of them are here on this webinar. We had visitors, we had a lot of activities, and it looked live. And we made sure to put everything on social media to demonstrate the success. So trade shows, there is really, really big spread of costs within a range. It depends very much on the package, but it's a big investment. And that's why I say it's very important to do it properly. So just to summarize what we spoke so far, you need to plan things ahead of time. This is the key. What innovation do you want to introduce? Where you want to get? What is your strategy? What is your goal? Where do you want to be by the end of 2024? And then you reverse engineer and think how you can get there. What is the, how do you create a good basis for growth through effective messaging, through good marketing assets, and lead generation that need to be efficient, and promotion method that suit your company. We spoke about it, like not, LinkedIn is not an answer to each and every company, or emailing. It's very custom based, and you need to find your fit. There are many ways to achieve growth. Of course, you know, it's a case by case. These were the I gave you the general outline, but this is definitely very much a case by case. So you need to perform some analytics and get the feeling of what is working in your domain. And last but not least, I want to explain the kind of support that I provide to those interested. And you know, like me, there are a lot of good marketing professionals, and I really encourage you, if you are not if you feel that this is not your core domain, to seek help and to work with professionals to create these tweaks, because these are the factors that actually can scale your business quite quickly. So from my side, I work in 3 formats. I work with companies, I help them with ad hoc consulting on different topics. I provide marketing packages like the digital package that you saw, the marketing infrastructure, trade show marketing. And last but not least, I work as part of the company as a fractional CMO. So you are most welcome to contact me if you are interested, if you have any questions. I see we are a bit above the time, but feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. Here are my contact details. And I want really to say well done for everyone who joined. The fact that you joined, you initiated, you know, you are trying to explore new strategies is already a great step in your way forward to a successful year. You know, the first step is to realize and learn. So before you leave, let's have just open the cameras. I love to do it. I want to have a group photo from us, the Israel HealthIL innovation. Just open the cameras. Look at the camera. I see everyone is looking so good. I'll just wait a moment. Thank you for everyone who wrote. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Olga.
Perfect. So I will take now our group photo.
By the way, it was a best webinar I heard from you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, thank you everyone so much for joining. I appreciate your time and your effort to scale your business with marketing. So I wish you best of luck and success. I have recorded it, so if someone missed a part of it. I will share the recording with all the registrants. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.